Testing. Hello and welcome back to the Gloves Off and Helmets On podcast. And speaking of testing, we've had our day 3, our last day of testing.
It is.
So let's get into it, because do you know what? This for me, this has been the best day of testing. I feel like I've learned the most today. So take it away.
I will begin with, again, another pretty weird day. There was some events that happened which are bizarre. So I don't know what's been going on with testing this year at Bahrain, but you'll see. So a weird interruption happened. A transport bus that takes everyone around the circuit actually ended up on the track. So it ended up on the runoff between turn 9 and 10, and it literally just came onto the track, did a U-it and left because it took a wrong turn and somehow ended up doing its own little Grand Prix.
It can happen.
Which is bizarre, by the way, to take one wrong turn and end up on the track mid-testing. And that happened 7 minutes into testing as well. So first thing in the morning, and everyone was really confused.
Tired bus driver, that's what I say.
I wouldn't want to be the bus driver, though. I bet you got in trouble.
Yeah, that could have been the end for him.
Another bizarre thing that happened today, and literally there seems to be a pattern with the past. So first of all, Ocon had to stop his car and slow down because a bird decided to cut in front of him. And literally crossed the road in front of him, took about 2 minutes to go past, and Ocon was just literally sat there like he was waiting in traffic lights in an F1 car. But he stopped for it. And then another one is Ollie Berman actually smashed one of the glass panes that are around the track from hitting up a rock from his front tyre.
Wow.
Shattered it, so then the whole course had to stop for him, red flagged it in testing terms. No one could drive because there's lots of glass on the track, so
he dipped in the gravel and broke some glass.
He did, yeah.
Wow.
Went straight through.
I
don't actually think it was in the gravel. I think there was just like, debris on the track and it just flipped up.
Okay, that's strange. But it's something valid. It's valid for a red flag, because these days we get red flags for anything, but that's actually a red flaggable offence.
So some weird things again today, but hey ho.
It's been a weird 3 days of testing.
I know,
really
with the
weird.
rain and stuff and just little things, but anyway.
Okay, well, I'm just going to give my special appreciation to the other Williams driver, Alex Albon.
Yeah.
136 laps.
I know, that's crazy. Put in a shift.
And on the timesheets, P3. Now, more than your Sainz yesterday, and obviously Sainz topped the timesheets yesterday with Albon at P3 today. So, I think they're going to win the Constructors' Championship.
Going on for P1.
No, well, that's amazing, though. I feel like it's looking up for Williams. It really is looking up. I'm so excited. And Albon, again, that's a lot of laps. Fair play to him. He's put in an absolute shift.
Yeah. Again, I think we'll stay on Williams. I think that is the general consensus for this year, is that Williams it's looking good.
Yeah, they're going to be fighting in that midfield, which they've been a bit behind for the last couple of years. So
yeah, definitely. I think a lot of the paddock is all agreeing that Williams have improved massively. Like, all the fundamentals of the car is spot on in the team itself.
That's good.
And as well, so each year the cars sort of go off a sort of race pace time idea that they all want to aim for, and obviously it's pretty hard to get a car bang on. But this year, which they haven't done before in quite a while, sorry we interrupted.
Wiping some, sorry.
They are half a second off the desired time that they wanted for the car, which, going off previous years, is like really, really good for them. And Alpine are also pretty similar, so that sort of indicates that Alpine and Williams are going to be really, really close on performance this year, judging by what we've seen. That is anyway. And
then you might put Aston Martin in that mix and Haas in that mix, and then you might have a 4-way fight for P5 in the Constructors.
So it's going to be a really, really tight on the back end of the grid, I think, for 2025.
And that's what you want. You want it to be tight everywhere you go. So yeah, absolutely buzzing with that. Verstappen, doing obviously the full session, didn't really, only 81 laps for a full day. That's not much. I didn't really see or hear much of Verstappen, really. I just know he's not happy.
not doing well. So again, the general idea for Red Bull, obviously after the third day, they all sort of get together and talk about everything that they've seen in press and media, whatever that is. And everyone's saying that Red Bull is struggling. They're not doing awful, but they haven't really changed from last year. And how I mentioned in the previous episode that McLaren were using something called flow paint to test aerodynamics. You typically do that in the first day to see where like your speed's down, see how sort of the car's streamline, and obviously the wind travels around it, which indicates that Red Bull are still worried about aerodynamics 3 days in,
that's
which
not
is
good.
a bit alarming. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And their technical director, Pierre Wash, actually stated that it wasn't as smooth a test as they expected, which again indicates that they're going to have some issues for this Red Bull, and it's not looking good.
Well, it's a shame, really, because Lawson's just signed for him, and they seem to be going to pan. But obviously, in a way, it's also good for us to see what Verstappen can do in a bin.
Yeah, I really don't think it's going to hinder him at all.
Probably not. He'll still be in the championship fight, I reckon. Speaking of championship fight, our man, top of the timesheets today, George Russell, 91 more laps than Verstappen in just the PM session, the evening session. He's looking strong. We said this. We've said this on every episode, but it just gets better and better. Like yesterday, Russell was better than day one. Today, he's better than day two. What is going on? This man, he's looking strong. The car's looking strong. I'm happy with what Antonelli did as well the last 3 days, so I'm buzzing for Mercedes.
Yeah, Mercedes is looking really well this year. But if you look at Mercedes and Ferrari together, they're both really, really similar on performance.
Yeah.
And it seems like what one team's lacking, the other one's got, and what they're lacking. Do you like vice versa? So Mercedes are bang on for the corners. They seem to be the quickest going around corners. Ferrari's the quickest on the straight.
Yeah.
And Ferrari's a bit of unbalanced, but then Mercedes seems to be spot on with that. So they're just having little issues, but in some areas better than each other. But I'd say for next year, again, going off like the stats and the performance, I do think they're going to be pretty similar level. So it's going to be a bit of a title fight between those.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you a question now. Do you think that Mercedes are going to be closer on points than they are to Ferrari and McLaren than Red Bull? Like, let's say, I think we're all predicting Red Bull to probably finish third or fourth this season.
Yeah.
So do you think Mercedes are going to be closer to the top two teams than they are closer to Red Bull?
You know what? Yeah. Going off everything that I've seen, again, you can only sort of make an assumption. But from looking at the numbers and the way that both cars are performing, I do think Mercedes have kind of got that edge. But then when you can also look at it from another perspective where there's two experienced drivers in the Ferrari, whereas for the constructors wise anyway,
That's going to help.
Antonelli obviously is a rookie and isn't as experienced as, Leclerc and Hamilton are, so that could put them back. But I do have high hopes that they are fully capable with the foundation that they've set with this car, that they can.
Yeah. I do think Red Bull and Mercedes are going to be a bit further off purely on both of the second drivers and up to scratch of Mercedes and Ferrari's drivers.
Yeah.
But, that's fine. But if this is the case with Russell, obviously, being... Well, if this Mercedes obviously is what we're all thinking it is, this could put us in a 6-man title fight.
I know.
Just that for at least the first few
Which
races.
is insane.
That's insane. It could be swapping around every single race and the cards are laid out for a great season. Just please let's have it that way and fight right till the end. Moving on to Ocon.
Yeah.
Or Ocon and Haas in general.
Yeah, I got a few things to say about Haas.
Thank the Lord, Ocon is back in the mix with a solid 102 laps in the evening session. That's crazy.
Very good.
P8. So finally, they've decided, you know what, let's show a bit.
Yeah, let's stop embarrassing ourselves.
Berman was still last, but they've obviously decided to go for a proper run and not a high fuel run, and they've obviously demonstrated we were just joking. Like we said, we knew we were taking a Michael. Thank God.
Saying that though, the car is falling apart.
Yeah, the car is falling apart. It literally is just falling apart.
So, I mean, I'm sure many of you would have seen the clip, but Haas have some serious bodywork problems at the moment. And apparently they had them towards the end of last year and they were going to fix it. They didn't. But because of the weight of the car, they've changed a sort of part on the main body of it to make it lighter. With it being lighter, clearly not as stable.
Ripped off.
Because it has literally flew off mid-drive on, I think it was Berman's car, was it?
Yeah, Berman,
it was on Berman's. But Komatsu said that they're going to fix it and it should be fine for the start of the season. But crazy issue though to have half your car flying off.
I know, especially with where we're at these
really
days.
Dangerous as well.
Yeah, I know. Anyone else that we've not mentioned that's impressed you? I've got someone who's really impressed me.
Who is it?
Pierre Gasly. He's looking really good. He's been really high on the timesheets for most of testing. He's put in a lot of laps with Alpine. He seems to be really miles ahead of Jack Doohan. I mean, which was expected, but yeah, Pierre Gasly, entering his prime, I think he's been unreal in this testing. And like you said, with Alpine being one of the best, well, probably the best midfield car, maybe in a battle with Williams and whatever. But yeah, this could be a big year for Gasly and Alpine.
Maybe it's the haircut. He's just on like demon time now.
Exactly, it is demon time. That's the demon time trim.
Yeah.
That's what they say a buzz cut is. You know, you're locking in. He's locked in.
I will say as well, his helmet's my favourite on the grid for this year. I do like Bortoletto's as well though, but his and Bortoletto's my favourite.
Yeah, it really suits
like a
the
camel
car.
blue kind of thing.
Beautiful.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
But that is also very good for Alpine. They're going to have another good year in the midfield as well.
What do you think about Jack doing?
Not much going on with him.
You don't think much of it?
No, I don't know.
He's not exactly been bad. He's just not
No.
been. He's not done anything like that you look at and go, ooh. But obviously, he could just be doing longer runs for Alpine and whatnot. But yeah, obviously, apparently he has till Miami, which I'm pretty sure is race number 6. So
Yeah, 6 races to
Come
prove
on, Dylan.
himself. You can do this.
at least see the 1 year contract out, and
Yeah.
then if you've
Prove your
gone
point.
after if you've gone after the year, then you gone after the year. But yeah, sorry. Anyway, back to the question. Has anyone impressed you that we haven't mentioned?
I will just say Sainz and Williams, and just Williams in general, really. I've had high hopes that they would do really well for this year, and I think they've exceeded that. You know, you can see that even the confidence for the whole team itself, you can see that they're all really happy.
Seems to have pushed Albon forward as well.
And Russell as well. I feel like he's come back this year with a mindset. Like when you watch him in all his interviews and he's driving himself, he looks so happy, so confident.
Yeah.
And Mercedes as a whole is, again, seem pretty confident going into the new season.
Yeah, definitely. Speed trap, fastest car in the speed trap today was a McLaren with a whopping 329 kilometres per hour.
Boy, have I got a lot to say about McLaren.
Well, we'll get on to that in a sec. And the slowest in the speed trap was Aston Martin with a 311 kilometres an hour, so a lot slower than McLaren.
Sorry to disappoint you all, but again, we don't really have much information on Aston Martin.
No, Alonso's visibly angry,
He's
upset,
not happy.
which I think they was obviously all expecting 2026 to be the aim, but I don't think he was literally expecting the car to be this bad.
Yeah, he did a couple of interviews afterwards, and he did one with The Race, I'm pretty sure. And they were asking him like what he thinks of the car and the performance, and he's visibly disappointed. I think he even said and stated that the car hasn't changed. The car's not changed since Dubai, basically. It's more or less the same one that they left with.
Abu Dhabi.
Abu Dhabi.
Dubai.
Same thing.
Yeah, well, pretty much.
But it's pretty much the same as what they left
Which
with.
isn't good because everyone else seems to have
Seems to have
upgraded.
took a step forward.
Yeah, so that's bad.
Yeah.
Aston Martin could be in for a really rough year, and Alonso might bring them some points, but it could be rough, especially the first half before Adrian Newey settles in. Anyway, McLaren, let's hear it.
So, again, general idea is McLaren are the best, and they've pretty much everyone's agreed with each other that they are going to be really, really good next season. They're going to be serious someone to compete with.
Yeah.
But then also, touch on that again, Mercedes, Ferrari, McLaren, those three are genuinely going to be really, really close next year, and who we're going to watch sort of have that title fight.
And Max, he'll be in there.
And Max, yeah. He'll throw himself in
Can't
there. But, yeah, time and time again, they did another performance run yesterday with Piastri this time. And again, for 20 plus laps, he was a couple of seconds ahead of everyone.
So they're looking really strong.
Yeah, really strong. But if you remember from last season, so McLaren sort of swindled a mini DRS
They did, yeah.
on the car, which obviously got detected as the season went on, and everyone was thinking, what is this little inch on the back of the wing that they've got?
Why are they so fast down the straights?
And that is why. So they've got a mini DRS, and it's literally like a few centimetres difference where they've got a gap in the back wing.
Yeah.
But towards the end of last season, everyone complained about it and was like, it's unfair, which rightly so, because it does give them an unfair advantage.
Anything in the rear wing can change the game for you. So.
Yeah, so FIA mentioned at the end of last season, like, you can't have it, you need to get rid of it because it's unfair. They've got it again. So I think it got noticed yesterday in one of the clips where they've got it. So the FIA have said that they'll review it when they come to Australia to race, and if it is an issue, they will then take it more serious.
So I'm guessing the plan is with that is, obviously you have 2 and a bit weeks till Australia to remove it.
Yeah.
If it's still there by Australia, you might just maybe imagine they could both get a race ban for the first race, and the McLaren just don't compete in the first race.
Yeah, it could be something like that. They might, actually put like a rule in place to stop people from having it, or they might enable all teams to have it. You don't know.
I think they'll get rid of it rather than let everyone else have it.
Yeah, because it's a really serious piece of engineering for them to realise that, and I've got it so bang on because it makes a difference.
Yeah,
but then
could you imagine a race ban?
for both of them?
Imagine, because then say Ferrari get a 1-2 in Australia, boom, you're 43 points down already.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
So imagine.
You better sort it.
I know, it would make it more interesting, I'll tell you that, because it's obviously, like you said, it's looking like for McLaren have got a decent edge on Ferrari. I do think Ferrari have the better drivers, but that probably goes without saying, which obviously will level the playing field a little bit, but obviously if McLaren are leaps and bounds ahead of Ferrari, Mercedes and Red Bull, then they'll eventually just run away with it.
Yeah. So after the 3 days, what are you thinking about the rookies? Have you got any standouts?
The best rookie... Obviously, there's more like eyes on Antonelli and Lawson, if you want to class him as a rookie. So I would say Antonelli's probably been the best. But you know, I'm very impressed with Hadjar actually. I think he's been pretty good.
Yeah.
And he's putting quite a lot of laps, which obviously he's working hard. So respect to him. Same with Bortoleto, he's putting a lot of laps and he's had a couple of good sessions. So yeah, I'm happy with Antonelli. He's impressed me. Hadjar and Bortoleto also impressed me. Behrman, hard to say, he's been last every session because
yeah, you
obviously
can't
the heavy
really
runs.
Judge.
Doohan, again, not really. Who else is there? Is that all of them?
Lawson, I suppose you class as well.
Yeah, no, I'll put Lawson in. Yeah, that's all of them. Yeah. So yeah, I'm quite impressed with a couple of them.
Yeah, and you've obviously outlined Hadjar and Bortoleto. They're the people that have no experience in F1 cars, so that speaks volumes as well.
And it was nice to see Sainz defending them, saying,
yeah,
cutting some they've got to be cut some slack because obviously they are literally coming in last minute because they was obviously got the F1 contract quite late in last season, so obviously they've not had any experience.
Yeah, whereas a couple of the other rookies have obviously had that Gambia experience.
Behrman do 3 races, obviously Doohan do 1. And Antonelli just do so much testing in old Mercedes, so yeah.
And when you think about it, 3 days worth of testing is really nothing.
2 weeks before go time. It's
but
not a lot.
Like you were saying earlier, for Bortoleto and Hadjar really not having that pressure on them, they can really sort of pick up the skills on their own terms before getting thrown into a really good car.
I think Hadjar's got the pressure on him though.
Well,
I think Lindblad, especially if he does well in F2, he's going to be breathing down his neck. Bortoleto though, he's got a while to get embedded. I think he'll be safe even if he performs appallingly purely because of the way the car is. I think he'll be fine, and I don't think he'll perform badly anyway because I really rate him.
Yeah. So have you got anything that you're excited for next season then after testing?
I'm excited for the first race. 2 weeks.
Yeah, I think we all are.
All the way on today, Saturday. So
Yeah.
2 weeks until Q1 kicks off in Australia.
But we're not without any F1 because the Drive to Survive trailer dropped yesterday on day 3.
It looks really good as well.
It does. It looks like it's got a bit of drama in it.
Yeah,
Gunther's still got his face in it.
Comes out on my birthday, so that's a nice birthday treat. Let's get at least one comment saying happy birthday on the 7th of
Say
March.
happy birthday.
Yeah. Yeah, that's where I'm at with it. That's where we're at with it. I think it's been a good testing. It's been an interesting
eventful.
3 days. For what testing is, it's normally not that interesting. We've actually had quite an interesting 3 days, I'd say.
I think because we were in that sort of place where like so many things are different this year for some of the cars.
There's big changes, isn't there?
big changes. So, I mean, you can evidently see it in testing, and it's only going to be even more visible when the lights turn off.
Exactly.
And everyone's gone.
Yeah. All right then. That's it for today.
That's our testing roundup done.
We will see you in Australia.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for listening. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.